All right, let's get into it. We're going to talk about a security feature that's getting a huge and, frankly, a long overdue upgrade in Windows Server 2025. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the new Windows LAPS and why it's so incredibly important for protecting today's networks.
Just, think about that for a second. A single key. One point of failure that could literally hand an attacker the keys to the kingdom. It sounds like something straight out of a movie, doesn't it?
Well, here's the scary part. For a ton of organizations out there, this isn't fiction at all. This exact vulnerability is very real, and it's basically hiding in plain sight.
So how is that even possible, you ask? Well, it all boils down to a super common practice that creates what's essentially a skeleton key for your entire network, all thanks to the danger of using one single password.
In the security world, we call this a lateral traversal attack. So picture this. An attacker gets into one computer. If they have the magic password, they can then traverse, or just kind of hop, from that computer to the next one, and then the next one, and on until they basically own the whole network. It's like watching dominoes fall, one by one.
So the whole game is about finding that one weak link, and almost always it's the local administrator account. You see, to make things easy, a lot of IT teams will set the exact same password for this super powerful account on every single machine. It's one password to manage them all, which means it's also one password to compromise them all.
But look, this isn't a new problem. Microsoft has known about it for years, and they've had a solution. So let's introduce the hero of our story, the Windows Local Administrator Password Solution, or as everyone calls it, LAPS.
LAPS is this free, built-in feature that was designed to do one thing and do it well: solve this exact problem. Its whole job is to take over managing these local admin passwords so you don't have to worry about it, and so they can't become this massive security hole.
And here's the beautiful part. It solves the problem so elegantly. First, it completely destroys the whole skeleton key idea by creating a totally unique, complex password for every single computer. No more sharing. Second, it's constantly changing those passwords automatically on a schedule, so even if one got stolen, it would be useless pretty fast. And third, it keeps all these passwords safely tucked away in a central spot where an admin can get them when they really need to.
Now, that's how LAPS used to work. It was good, don't get me wrong. But the new version that's baked right into Windows Server 2025, it is a massive leap forward. We're talking way more than just a simple password manager now. Let me show you.
This right here illustrates one of the coolest new changes perfectly. On the left, you've got your classic complex password. You know the drill, a pain to type, impossible to remember. But on the right, that's the new passphrase feature.
Now, it might look simpler, but a longer passphrase like this is actually way more secure because of its sheer length. And it's 1,000 times easier for a human to actually read it and type it in correctly. So that's a huge win for security and a huge win for usability.
Okay, but the feature that I think is really mind-blowing goes even deeper. It tackles this really clever type of attack that's become a real problem now that we use so many virtual machines.
This is called image rollback detection, and it's just brilliant. So imagine a virtual machine has a password of XYZ at 10 in the morning. An attacker with access to the system could try to roll that VM back to an older snapshot, say from 9 a.m., when the password was something they already knew, like ABC. Well, the new LAPS is smart enough to see that mismatch, to realize the machine state has gone backward. And when it does, it immediately forces a password reset, completely shutting down the attack. It's just so smart.
And hey, the list of upgrades keeps going. The 2025 version gives admins an incredible amount of control. For instance, LAPS can now create the local admin account for you automatically. It can encrypt the password while it's being sent over the network. You can even keep a password history for audits and tell LAPS to automatically sign out the admin account after it's been used. I mean, this is real enterprise-grade stuff.
So why is all of this so important right now? Because our offices, our networks, they're not just in one building anymore. We are all working in a hybrid world.
In this slide right here shows you the #1 reason this update is such a game changer. The old legacy LAPS only worked with your traditional on-premises Active Directory. The new LAPS, it works perfectly with both on-prem AD and the cloud-based Microsoft Entra ID, which you probably remember as its old name, Azure AD.
That hybrid ability, that's the key. That is what takes LAPS from just a useful tool to an absolutely essential one for pretty much any modern company. It's a true, modernized replacement that's built for how we actually work today.
So as we start to wrap this up, what's the big takeaway here?
What does the evolution of a tool like Laps really tell us about where things are headed?
Okay, here's the bottom line. Laps is your best defense against those lateral traversal attacks. It stops attackers cold. The new version in Windows Server 2025 just puts it on steroids with passphrases and that awesome rollback detection. It gives you way more control, and this is the big one, it's built for the hybrid world we all live in.
And that leaves us with one final really interesting thought. On one hand, you have tools like Laps that are making the traditional password smarter and stronger than it has ever been. But at the exact same time, there's this huge push for passwordless tech. So the real question for the future is, which idea is going to win? The quest to build the truly unbreakable password, or the one to make the password entirely unnecessary?